what is SMS marketing? So if we want to get fancy, it's a mechanism for a business to connect and engage with their consumers on their mobile devices. The reality is it's a text message. There's billions of text messages sent every day. If you have a teenager, you know about text messaging probably better than anyone else in the world. So consumers are opting in to receive mobile updates and offers. This opt-in point is very important. You should be very familiar with the concept of email compliance and understanding giving people clear opt-out and email preference abilities. In SMS, it's even stricter. And the reason why is that you have to understand that text messages, depending on the plan that you have, people actually can pay to receive a text message. The good thing for all of us marketers is more and more plans today do have unlimited text or very high volume text. I have a friend with a teenager who said that they didn't have an unlimited texting plan, and it was like hundreds of dollars a month, so they switched. It was insane for the number of messages. So the good thing is the trend is towards unlimited text plans. You have to realize that there is an expense, and you also have to realize that you can be interrupting people in a much more personal manner because cell phones are such a personal device. So you really want to think about what you're sending, the time of day that you're sending, and the opt-in part is very important. The opt-out compliance part is even more important in SMS than it is in email. So when I talked about some of the risks of SMS marketing, some of the challenges, is it's difficult for a sole affiliate, for just someone starting out to really build an SMS list. You need to think about and understand the compliance, the disclaimers, the opt-out procedures, the way to design your landing pages. I mean, there's all of these things that you really do have to master before you go out there in SMS, and it is more challenging than just setting up an email address. And the reason why? Because everyone knows how to do an email account, and there's services like Aweber, services like iContact and Infusionsoft and ListTrack that just make this easy for you to do. And when we all just get email compliance with SMS, this is a brave new world. The brave new world comes with new compliance, new risks, and new setup requirements for affiliates. So again, this is not the easiest thing in the world, but nothing worth doing, especially in marketing where we want to be first. Nothing worth doing is ever easy, especially when you want to be first. So I think this is a very important point, is that there is compliance requirements and messaging requirements that we really need to think about. And this is unproven ground and new ground for affiliates, right? Because no one's doing this yet, right? It's the first time we're talking about this. So benefits of SMS, just real quick. Oh, Mark, you want to give me some questions, and I'll just go through a few of these bullets?
It seems like one of the most popular questions so far is people understand Aweber. They want to know, is there a tool, an SMS list management tool that works like Aweber as far as being like an autoresponder?
You know, yes and no. There are some services that allow you to manage it. It's not as clear-cut because you need to think about the management of things like short codes and managing the compliance of it. So it's really not as all-in-one solution as there is in email autoresponders. I think in the next 12 months, we're going to start getting towards these turnkey solutions. So today, you really still need to think about the compliance and the setup and managing short codes. So it's just not as elegant, as efficient as Aweber is today. But I think over the next year, again, as this converges, we'll see a lot cleaner integrations and a lot more new tools and services that will let you get there. It's just not there yet today. It's still, the compliance requirements and building the landing pages to acquire the names and then being able to manage the messaging and managing the short codes. Another important point that I wanted to bring up is you're paying per message to send SMS. So in email, you think, well, to send an email, you're paying either iContact or Aweber, but it's just, it's so minimal. You don't even think about an Aweber subscription, even if you have a large sender iContact account for the number of messages you're sending. It's really just, it's a rounding error for the cost of sending emails as a business. With SMS, you're paying a fee of several cents. You could pay 3 to 5 cents. I've seen messaging costs for delivery, 6, 7 cents. Sometimes let's call the average 4 to 5 cents to send a message. So you have to really take into consideration the hard costs of sending messages too. So it's not set up in Aweber where you pay $30 a month or whatever it is, and you start subscribing and blasting out messages and just pay your $30. This has a hard cost to it in SMS. So I think that's an important thing to consider also. And also the concept of a short code. So what a short code means, do you ever see on TV, text, 1234, text, Hanes to 1234 and you get like an underwear coupon or whatever it is. That's basically that 1234 number. It's called a short code. And it's a way for a business owner or a marketer to build a list and be able to communicate back with their subscribers. So that's also very different than we're dealing with, a Weber, where it's just an email address and they're sending it, and they're sending it out and they have the integration with all of the email ISPs. When it comes to dealing with SMS, again, there's a short code, and then there's integration with all of the carriers, which is a pain in the ass, I'll tell you, to try to get all those carrier relationships going. Then you could deal with people who are SMS service providers who will actually do the short code integration and the carrier level integration. Because if you're not integrated with Verizon, guess what? You can't send messages to users on Verizon. If you're not integrated with T-Mobile, guess what? You can't send users to T-Mobile. So it is a very interesting and complex landscape. That's why this is the advantage that we're talking about tonight in the SMS Goldmine, because you're there first. You're able to conquer this early before this is simplified and everyone else gets on it, and then it's just commonplace for other people to participate.
Let's take a couple more questions. John's asking, why does it cost so much for hosting a mobile website versus a regular website? And John, it really doesn't. It's really exactly the same as far as a hosting goes. The web is the web, whether it's mobile or the regular web that we were used to. So absolutely no difference. The only difference would be some of the technicalities as far as tracking. Things might work a little differently, but one hosting company versus any other will be able to host a mobile website the same as they host any other website.
That also might come from when I was talking about that the cost to manage SMS as a list is that also might have been, I went through that pretty quickly. So like Mark said, to host a mobile site, no difference than hosting a regular website. We're technically making sure it's compatible with various mobile browsers, and we have tools on Offermobi that you could actually start to preview websites also. But the difference is in the SMS side of mobile is, again, there's the cost to send the messaging and the short code management and things is different than email list hosting and management. So
okay,
maybe that question was blended.
Lee's asking, shall I register .mobi domain to host a squeeze or a landing page? Really not necessary. I mean, any domain extension will work just as well on mobile. It's not really if you want to do a .mobi, that's fine. It just really doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, .mobi didn't take off to the level that the guys who owned that registrar did, right? So there's a lot of money in owning a registrar if it works, right? Like the .tv and things like that. Excuse me. The reality is that with mobile, you are telling the search engines and users that this is specific to mobile, but the search engines have their own detection and validation, so they can look at a website and determine if it is mobile compliant. Again, we suggest that you do use our free preview tools. If you go to offermobi.com, click tools, you could use our preview tool for that. But now it's a great question. Any domain extension works just the same.
Right, and then as a follow-up, Joe really asked the same question, about does he need .mobi, but he also added for SEO, and it really doesn't make much difference in SEO either. For SEO, as far as getting listed on the mobile search results, it's more important that your site is mobile compatible and renders properly, because that's what Google's going to look for, a mobile site as far as how it renders on a phone, and so it's going to rank those types of sites higher than just a regular website that's not designed.